this. Let's switch to the
Bazinga.
game
And
board.
we're not muting too much so that we can talk back and forth, right?
Oh,
Yeah, just leave yourself open. If
It's okay to say, sorry, did I speak over you, rather than just let it be silent.
Yeah.
By the way, I could hear everybody on stream. Yay!
Yeah, there we
Yay!
Can
Oh,
you hear my
are we live already?
we're live right now, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
hey everybody.
12 minutes late, yeah. Better late than never, right? So
That was my fault for all those keeping track at home. This is a John Kennedy moment.
Nope. We had plenty of stuff to do.
This moment
on
is
our own.
sponsored by John
No,
Kennedy.
I was driving my Camaro around, and as I was talking over with H. John Benjamin, my close and personal friend, I just got distracted, and then I remembered I had to be here for my fans.
Yes, but see, you thought it was H. John Benjamin, but it was actually just a can of beans. You've been watching way too much of
Bob's
why am
Burgers.
No, the summer camp TV show. Why am I blanking on his name?
Brickleberry?
Wet Hot American Summer. There we go.
I haven't watched that
I
yet.
have not been watching
actually.
too much of that. I've not been watching any of that.
The movie's amazing. All right,
I don't own a TV.
All right, so with that, let's welcome to the second gaming session of the Accords, Distrust in the District. This is us playing the Fate Dresden Files Accelerated game. This is technically our third session. Our session 0 was character creation, where everybody built their characters. And then last session, we actually started off in media res with a giant, complicated combat scene. We were at the mansion of Senator Middleton. Well, Senator Middleton's like townhouse on the outskirts of DC. There's a large party going on, and everybody had their own agendas for being at the party. So as a recap, I'd like everybody to like just kind of introduce their character real quick, like maybe just your high concept, and say what you were doing at the party, and then what happened to you at the party, and then we'll move on into the session. We're going to start with Ryan. So Ryan, go ahead.
Great. My character, I'm playing Ravi. Ravi is a Knight of the Lotus, which is kind of like a Knight of the Cross for those familiar with Dresden, but serves Vishnu instead, whose holy symbol is the lotus. And he wields an enchanted mace that I won't pronounce because I will butcher the pronunciation. But I think it's Kamodaki. I have not a good accent with that. So
Ryan, with all of the crap that I've been doing with my horrible accent, you can go ahead and mispronounce a word. It's fine.
Excellent. All right. So Mallory, if you can go ahead and introduce your character and give your little recap.
Yes, I'm playing Evangeline, goes by Evie. She is Red Court infected and also a Clued mortal. Pretty much just all around kind of researcher gal. Her high concept is that she is the unwilling founder of the nebulous organization, The Truth, which basically exposes secrets and just exposes all kind of information for everybody to know. Her reasons for being at the party, I can't. Was it for a senator?
You were there to hack the Wi-Fi. You were. It was a senator, Senator Middleton.
Okay.
And you were there to hack the Wi-Fi.
Yes. Get some information off of the internets locally somehow.
All right.
Internet magic.
Internet magic. It's wonderful.
Yes.
It Rule 32? No. Anyway, Michelle, a little bit about your character and what happened at the party.
Je m'appelle Michel Dubois. Je suis un chasseur de Earl King. My character is Michel Dubois. He is the Earl King's hunt master, and he is quite new at his job, his vocation, and so he's still trying to figure out what's what and who's who. And his first, I guess you could call it, training run was to find out what the hell's going on in DC, because there was a giant bluish crab who was on the prowl, and I was sent to figure out why it's there and get rid of it if possible.
Excellent. And lastly, Hux. Tell us a little bit about your character and why he was at the party and what was going on.
Hux is an enterprising gentleman thief where he was looking to get as much information that he could from the senator's private files, because that information is incredibly valuable in both the good and the bad or in the wrong hands. Unfortunately, though, Hux managed to run afoul of the senator's girlfriend. What was her name again? Because of an M. I don't think I wrote it down. Should have.
The senator's name? The senator's name is Middleton.
No, his girlfriend, because she ran in with
Mimi.
Wife.
Mimi.
Oh, Mimi. Oh, I didn't know they got married. They didn't invite me. How rude.
I know, right?
As I was vandalizing their Facebook page, I was trying to get the information when the two guards found me. And unfortunately, it led to a very, very brutal fist fight with the guards, where they were pretty much keeping on top of me until I managed to escape. Hux, unfortunately, after fleeing with these people because he needed a way out of there, passed out in the car after he noticed something mysterious about one of them. Unfortunately, he didn't stay awake for very long, and now he's catching some Z's in the back of the car. Oh, and he's been shot.
Oh, yes. So just so you know, Hux's wound, the imperil checkbox, because Michelle took care of it with the silver thread, it's actually gone now. So, I mean, story-wise, it's still there. Like, you can still, role play that you've been shot, but it doesn't take up the imperil box anymore. So you're good on that front.
Yay!
So, excellent. So when we left off, everybody was being the giant blue crab that you guys fought, the giant blue crab monster with the tentacles coming out, had been run off, leaving behind its handbag. Because if you remember that it was actually a rather tall and muscular looking woman at the party that Ravi kind of like brushed fingers with, and basically like they both knew who the other was and what they represented, which led to the giant big fight. And then there were a bunch of bodyguards that were going after Evie and Hux. And so basically you guys decided to hightail it out of there. Since it was obvious that you were all there to not be friends with the Middletons, you guys all kind of clambered into Evie's van, Evie's ramshackle van, and sped off before the authorities showed up. Let's see. You guys were headed to Evie's kind of secret, I don't want to say lair because that makes it sound like woo, but
sinister.
The secret location in where she lives, which during character creation you guys said that you wanted a secret base in a library, so it is at the wait a minute. Oh crap! What was the name of that library? I wrote it down.
The Library of Congress?
Yes, there we go. The Library of Congress, and I believe it was the Thomas Jefferson building. The big
Something
fancy,
like that.
The big fancy nice one. You guys were in the big fancy nice one, making it all sorts of awesome. So you guys, we'll cover that in a moment, but the library itself, we don't have any aspects for the library. We really haven't discovered the library. So prior to the scene opening, I've got some questions for you guys. And I've got 4 questions, and you guys are 4 players. So
wait, there's 4 of us.
Right? It's almost as if I have this planned out. So
you're not like any DM I've ever run under.
That's because I'm a horrible GM.
And you plan stuff. How dare you?
I'm horrible. All right, so here's the deal. The area that you guys get to is a secret area. What does the secret door or entrance look like, and how does it work? This is the first question. Who would like to answer that one?
I would like to answer this one.
All right. Tell me, Ryan, how does it work?
So we're in the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., where all the politicians go to study and read up on things. So I propose that the entrance to our library is hidden behind a section of the library called like political ethics that nobody ever looks at. So nobody's ever disturbed this section in decades. So we can But basically, I have the idea that it's just like kind of a secret room behind one of the bookcases. Like you slip around a corner, pull down the book, and maybe it was built a long time ago. I'll let somebody else answer
ethics
that question,
a book on ethics and morality.
Right, there you go.
It's
Ryan bringing it
probably
in with the hot takes.
from Prohibition era.
There we go.
Yeah, hey.
Awesome. I like that. All right. So the second question is, what is an interesting feature of the area of like that you go into? What is like when you guys walk in through that door? What is like the prevailing feature? Like if it was the Batcave, there'd be like a giant penny and a T-Rex, and like the trophies of the things that like the bad guys that he stopped. What's the interesting feature of this area? Like, is it cramped? Is it large? Is it like what's involved there? Who would like to take this question?
I think Mallory had her hand up first.
Mallory?
I don't know if this would necessarily be an interesting feature, but it is something that I think would be fun to establish, and could also fall into the interesting feature unless it's too boring. But because this section of the library is so old, I think the lighting and also the electrical system running here is super old. So like it's got an ancient power grid, and all of the lights are like really old fashioned, like tungsten light bulbs. We give that like nice soft hipster glow.
Kind of like periodically the power will go out and you've got to go kick the generator or kick the wires.
Yeah, basically
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Some there's a bunch of vacuum tubes.
Horrible fire hazards.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
All right, great. I love that. That's fantastic. That gives it a little bit of a derelict kind of feel. So this sort of leads into the next question, which is, what is the giant problem with the space? There's a giant problem with the space. What is the problem? So who wants this question? Christopher, John. It does not have to be related to the poor power grid that Mallory has declared.
The problem with this room is that it's haunted. Every now and again, people who have found their way into the room and couldn't figure out how to get out of it again, there's something about the room that won't let the souls move on. And so there's like half a dozen or a dozen spirits just wandering aimlessly, and they can be testy every now and again.
All right, so it's haunted, or the area that you guys are in is cursed.
Like Moaning Myrtle, not necessarily. What's the word? They're not trying
malicious.
They're not out to get it. Yeah, they're not malicious.
Yeah.
But every now and again, if you brush them off one too many times, they'll start pulling pranks.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. I like that. That's and then lastly, John, this is your question. Tell me what the living space in this area looks like. Like, how does Evie live in this space?
Oh God,
what does that look like?
I couldn't establish this. Damn it.
Hey, you jumped on the Warehouse 13, all right?
Yeah, whatever. You're muted.
John, you're muted.
Man, I bet that was a great speech too. That was the best thing John's ever said.
Yeah,
and it's all
John.
about Ryan too. No, so I imagine there's like two rooms, and one of them's like really big and spacious, and it's got like a bed in it. And it's got a computer desk, and the desk is the most lived-in part of the room, and it's full of just books on top of this desk. And I can imagine she's probably got she's reading a dozen books at any given time. And it's not all like history books, just like a Mechanic monthly compendium there. There might be a graphic novel of her favorite comic, because she likes to take breaks in between. And then there's like all sorts of just random fields where it's like the latest in French fashion, and the next book is quantum mechanics, understanding it, and other stuff. Because I don't really know. She probably wouldn't have a bed, would she? Would she have a coffin, or would she have a bed in the space?
It's a bed.
Okay, she has a bed. And the other room is kind of
not
like
a coffin.
No.
the other room would be like an OCD's person's worst nightmare, where the other room is like a rec room where people just carry stuff in and set it down and then never touch it again for months. So there's like a bag of old groceries. There's like a bunch of shelves that were bought but were never used, and the shelves were bought years ago. And so it's crowded just because it's more of a room where people set stuff down.
So basically, if we did like Supernatural Hoarders, they would film here. So this room that is a disaster of a mess has not yet been excavated by Mallory, who has recently moved in. And so as a result, who knows what's in that giant pile of trash? Probably bodies because it's cursed. So
Yeah, I also like to imagine maybe there's like a like building off of the hoarder chic idea. There's also another closet where she just keeps all of her tech remnants, like they just all go there.
All right, that sounds good. And then lastly, so I, as the GM, am going to add just one little detail to this room, and that is that there is no bathroom in this space. You guys actually have to leave the space and go use the public bathroom in the library in order to use the restroom. So there's no shower, no toilet. So
That's unfortunate.
Gym
That is.
memberships.
Right, there you go.
Yeah. It's cheaper than an apartment.
What, you've never seen a grown man taking a bath at a toilet before?
oh my goodness. Gross. All right. So now that we've established what this scene looks like, Mallory shows you the book on morals and ethics, which one to pull in the political, what was it said? Political ethics section.
Political ethics.
Actually,
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to say, would she trust us with telling
could
us which
I
book?
not show them which book it is?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Like they all have to wait, like at the front, like the front of the section, so they generally know what section it is.
Yeah.
But I kind of just disappear, and then I tell them, "All right, come on," and then they can all just come to my general area and go in.
Sounds great to me. All right. So you guys do this. Hux, you have you're groggy. And they're able to kind of like help you move into the space. When you guys all get into the space and the door is pulled shut behind you guys, then Hux, you like regain your senses from like, you passing out in the middle of the van. So what do you guys like to do?
I mean, obviously, we're gonna get Hux in there, right? Like that's
No. Hux,
Yeah.
Hux, you guys managed to like walk him in like Weekend at Bernie's style, and he regained he passed out, but he's regained his regained consciousness. So you guys are in this room. The lights are blinking. You see the just stacks of books and CDs and graphic novels like just everywhere, mostly collected around this desk that has like this top of the line PC. And
Four
like
monitors.
just bunch of monitors. It's obviously like running. It's running software. Maybe the SETI screensaver to search for an extraterrestrial intelligence with its downtime because Evie doesn't like waste a CPU cycle.
Nah.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe it's that / Bitcoin. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who
there you
knows?
go.
So
That's how we're gonna make our millions.
It's got a quad core. She can do both.
So the adrenaline is coming down. You guys now, just as a reminder, you fought that giant blue crab monster. It left that handbag that Ravi managed to grab on his way out.
Yes.
Hux was shot. Obviously, you guys are all interested in Senator Middleton. Discuss.
Except for me, I was just there.
I was
Yeah.
just there.
I was just working a job.
This is true.
I was just working a night gig. I don't know what you guys were doing.
Evie goes to her computer, sits down, like spins her chair around, pops open a bag of chips, and starts compiling her data.
What is this? I think I might I'm like a second away from leaving. I'm like, what is going on here? This is like some secret weird place in the library, and you just like walk in, you're like, okay, make yourself at home.
I
I'm
was
gonna go
just
over
about
here and
Well, I was just about to say that, but make yourselves at home. I wouldn't go into the closet over there, and she just points in a direction wherever the room that is not touched is. If you guys need a piss, you gotta use the bathroom in the library.
We got to pee in the library? Hux is getting up off of wherever you deposited him. It's like, not the worst place of waking up, but no, definitely the neatest place of waking up. Where are we?
well, yeah, maybe we should talk about what just happened because that was definitely some sort of like, giant crab, right? Like I wasn't hallucinating.
You might have been hallucinating. I can't tell. Those crab puffs seem pretty strong. But who are you? Like, and you? And I vaguely remember someone else. Oh, you by the computer.
Yeah, I'm Ravi.
Robbie. Okay. And you by the computer?
She put her headset on and is typing.
Yeah, I'm going to
I'll
call
just
you.
pick up a piece of something from the floor and throw it over at her. Because I'm kind of busy stitching up your shoulder wound right now.
With my vampiric agility, might I be able to just catch it in the air before it hits
Sure.
me?
Yeah, sounds
Cool.
fine.
I do so. I
And
take
at
my
that-
headset off, wrap it around my neck. I don't appreciate that. This is my home, you know.
This man was asking you a question and you were ignoring him. It is rude to invite people into your home and not talk to them.
Yeah.
Less invited, more you needed somewhere to come so this guy didn't die. But sure, whatever.
I don't even
Yeah.
know this guy really.
If I was not invited, I would not be able to enter your abode. Those are the rules of hospitality.
That's when I give like a slow turn towards Michelle. Then what rules are that?
As a character, Michelle would know the rules of hospitality because they would have been beaten into them by the Earl King.
Oh yeah.
But as a player, I'm trying to remember the basics of it.
I think you just have to be invited. You can't.
You have to be invited
You can't cross
in.
a threshold
Yeah.
without being
yeah.
invited.
I think that's it.
Without a proper invitation, it is not polite, and for some people, not possible to enter the home of another.
Oh,
think
no,
that's-
I'm aware of that. Some people have to be invited in. Other people just try to force their way in, and bad things happen to them. But that's at this point that Hux is going to notice the thread you're using.
So now,
Where did
none
we
of
get-
you are really concerned that was a giant crab that attacked us. Like, you guys seem way too chill.
From my memory, it did not attack us. It attacked you. We were just there to render assistance.
It was really convenient that you were there.
Oh, it was not convenient at all. I have been hunting this creature for weeks now.
Hunting the crab?
Évidemment.
Well, maybe you know what it was doing there.
My guess is it has something to do with whatever is in that satchel in your hand.
He stole something. I
I didn't
can't.
steal this.
Well, is it yours?
I don't think the crab needed it after it turned into a giant crab.
So you stole from the crab monster.
All right. You know what? We do a lot of things in our business.
Tisk, tisk.
You know what? I don't know that we should be talking about this stuff in front of mundane people. Maybe we should be having this conversation in private.
I am busy fixing his wound. If you give me a few moments, then we can go in the
Are you
other
talking about
room.
me?
Just don't worry about it.
You're talking about me. I've never been more insulted. Mundane. Wow.
Well, I don't know about this girl either, but I'm just saying that you guys seem way too cool with the fact that a giant crab like came out of a person basically and started attacking me. Like you just seem
I've
really
been
chill with that.
I'm a little more concerned with the fact that I've been shot.
It came from a person. I did not see that happen. I just saw the crab throw you through the wall.
Yeah, it was a person. I brushed up against them. I guess they realized who I was and decided they should just kill me.
You
'Cause they
turned him
ru-
into a crab monster.
And who exactly are you?
I'm Ravi.
That name does not mean anything. I look down at Hux lying on the ground. Do you know who he is?
I shouldn't. I'm not really from around here. And my organization isn't really from around here either. I'm actually, probably the only one on this entire continent.
C'est l'histoire de ma vie, mon ami.
I don't know what that means either. I was born in
That-
Chicago.
Oh, I don't know how to say it in your language. It is the history of my life.
Yeah, let's just say that, killing things like this is my calling.
All right. Okay. So it seems we need to establish a couple things about each other. I'm going to do that thing that I said I was going to do, Randy. I'm going to pay my fate point now.
Pay your fate point.
And bing. All right. So Evie spins around in her chair. She's sitting cross-legged, and she has like this small laptop that's on her lap that she occasionally looks down at. As the first person she looks at is, let's go with Robbie. Robbie, do you have a last name established? No.
No, I'm sure there is one.
Well, Evie turns, looks at you, and says your full name, whatever that may be.
Probably middle name too.
Yeah.
And whatever my mom calls me.
Probably.
Bunny Bear? They call him Bunny Bear?
Buttercup.
So, interesting. Second generation Indian American. Grew up in Chicago, like you said. Studied medicine. Interesting. And yet now you're working IT. Parents came from an arranged marriage, and it seems you're also arranged to be married to a very nice looking girl named Nadia. Seems you're a Knight of the Lotus. That's interesting. And then she looks at Hux. Hux, do you have a full name established?
Hold on, I would, like, I'm gonna look at Michelle and be like, great. So she like reads minds. Awesome. This is awesome.
I don't think it is your mind that is being read. I think it is her portable computer.
Then she spins her chair to look at Hux. Carl Huxley. Not a whole lot on you, actually. Seem like a decent enough kind of guy. Have some interesting connections to the Fey world. Seems you're trying to hide it, I guess.
And when you say that, Michelle's going to kind of drop the needle and thread for a quick moment before finishing up really quickly and kind of taking two steps back.
You seem like a decent enough guy, but have a small criminal record, at least what I can find anyways.
Well, no.
Some unregistered firearms bought off the black market, other interesting weaponry. But besides that, pretty average, I guess. Kind of disappointing.
Hey.
Hobbies include eating junk food and stuff. Yeah.
Good guy.
Disappointing. I see you've met before.
Then she spins her chair to look at Michelle. Michel Dubois from France. Couldn't tell from the accent. Parents retired to Italy, living the happy life. Interesting. Have a twin sibling, being entertained by the Winter Court. Work for the Earl King as the hunt master. That's interesting too. But you seem pretty new at it, so.
And as you say that, he kind of stands up straight and nonchalantly puts his hand on the hunting knife sheath at his thigh side. And how is it that you came by all of this information?
Well, with all this information, I would suggest that you don't threaten me so openly. You don't know what I could do with it.
And he kind of looks down where his hand is resting on the hilt. Oh, I apologize, miss. It was not my intent to threaten you. I was just surprised is all.
Now that we've established that we're not all mundane, I think we can just talk openly, shall we?
Well, his kind always used force first, so that was always going to be his first, opening gambit. By the way, thank you for fixing my arm. But at that point, me and the Earl King, we've got kind of an interesting relationship. So I think I'm just going to skedaddle. It's been great seeing you guys. I start to stand up, feel a little woozy because he's lost a lot of blood at this point. Mm-hmm. Where are we, anyways?
Somewhere that doesn't matter.
Excuse me. You seem to know an awful lot about the rest of us, but we still know nothing about you. who are you, and what is your? If you are not mundane like you say, then what is your link to the supernatural community?
Well, my name's Evie. I don't know if you need to know anything else other than that.
That
other
was
than
very
I know a lot.
anticlimactic.
Other than that, I know a lot.
Yeah, it was very informative.
Great job. I know so much about you now. You know so much about us. We know nothing about you. So great. I don't even know what my involvement here is.
Well, obviously, it has something to do with that monster that was attacking you guys. We were all at this estate for different reasons. I was there for information. You two, I guess, were hunting something. And our friend who was shot laying on the table, if any guess by his background, was there trying to steal something as well.
What? Lies and slander. Lies and slander. I was a guest of the party. I was supposed to be there.
She looks up the guest list. Was he?
Not under Carl Huxley.
Uh-oh.
You know, it's just rude to second guess everything that a guest in your house says. I mean,
I was there working taking a night job because I'm poor. And being a Knight of the Lotus does not pay.
No, how selfless of you.
so we've got
Selfless doesn't pay the bills.
True, it doesn't.
a knight, we've got a hunt master over here who really needs to be getting back to his job at Gander Mountain. We have the Oracle over here who knows everything about us, but we don't know anything about her. And all we really know is that there was a giant monster, which left that behind. And has anybody looked in that bag? Well, I'm gonna look in the bag.
Not yet.
No
Yeah,
one's
we've been
looked
having
in
a
the bag yet, no.
discussion. We'll look in the bag. We
Sure,
should
so
look in the bag together.
All right, so you
just gonna
all gather
dump
around
it out.
this fancy medium-sized Louis Vuitton purse. Oh, you're just gonna dump it?
Let's just dump it onto the bed, right? So
All right, great. You
whatever.
dump the contents onto the bed. It's got,
Excuse me.
it's
You'll
got
put it
typical-
away when he is done.
Yeah, kind of like looking around like it's a bastion of organization.
You're right, exactly.
But
There's
so
a
like
table.
lipstick, eyeliner, your typical like sundries that you'll find in a purse, excepting a wallet. There's no wallet, so there's no like identification. But there also falls out of it a parcel that is wrapped in cloth. It sits about maybe an inch thick. It's maybe about 6 inches by 9 inches, and it's wrapped in cloth.
Any
Sounds
markings on
suspiciously
it?
like a book size.
It is book size. That's a great guess. So
Snatch
yeah,
it.
it's wrapped in. That's fine. Evie snatches it.
Well, hold on a second.
This
what
is
was-
my bed.
Sure, but that's our book. I assume it's a book. It looks like a book.
It looks like one, yes.
Hey, Randy,
Yes.
I'm gonna look at the cosmetics while they're all squabbling over the book. Do the
Not
cosmetics-
squabbling. I just want to see what she has in her hand.
Well, let's talk about cosmetics. Hux looks at the cosmetics that came out of the bag. So Hux, you don't recognize the names of the cosmetics that fell out of the bag. So it's not Revlon. It's not like a lot of the pedestrian like makeup that like you would find at Target. It seems to be like more gourmet upper class makeup that like, I don't know, the common man doesn't understand or know about.
Gourmet.
Gourmet.
So, yeah.
I've never heard makeup be referred to as gourmet before, but I love it.
Well, there you go. There you go. I've got a 4-year-old who eats everything. So, gourmet
I mean,
makeup,
if you like, I could describe the high-end makeup. But
it's okay. So basically, this just reinforces the idea that like whoever this person is has money.
What is any of the makeup used?
Yes, actually, it is used, and it's looks like it's kind of like there are various states of use depending on the makeup. So this is obviously like makeup that has like been with a person for a while. Like you would use foundation faster than maybe you would use lipstick, and so on and so forth. So it looks like this wasn't a bag that was just prepped for tonight with brand new things. This is something that someone regularly brings with them.
That was actually my train of thought, because I didn't know if people were confused as to why I was asking those questions. But that was exactly my train of thought, to see if this was a bag that was prepped or if this was somebody's actual like day-to-day stuff. So as I just look through the makeup, I just say out loud, seen a lot of wear. You find this in like, around Midtown. Yeah, that is part of New DC. Yeah.
I toss the book to let's see. It goes to Robbie. I tossed the book over. I was just like moving my hand around, seing who it landed.
Did you open it, the cloth, or did you leave it wrapped?
No, I left it wrapped. I toss it to you, and then I go look at the makeup. I grab the lipstick tube, and I look at it. It's like, well, it's Chanel, so we know that she has money to spend on $60 lipstick. So,
Hey, Randy.
Yes.
With the makeup being used, could that be a focal point for a tracking spell?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at the book, and then we can talk about finding some people.
Probably, because there would be DNA on that, so that would be.
There
nice.
would be DNA. Okay, so we'll talk about that.
First.
Okay.
But it's just I'm currently reading through the ritual rules right now. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to see.
Well, I want to
actually,
take this cloth off this book, so I want you to be there for that part.
Okay, well, real quick, I'm going to answer Christopher's question. The makeup itself has been sanitized after use. This is obviously a creature that knows its way around the magical world, and so the makeup has been sanitized after use. So while it's been used, like the top level has been skimmed off of like the lipstick, removing any particles or any like biologicals that would be left to be used. Sort of like how Harry Dresden takes care of all of the hair in his hairbrush to make sure that no one can grab that and use it against him. Conversely, this is an entity that's doing the same.
Okay.
It's an excellent question. And sorry, no go. So Ravi, the whatever this object is, it's wrapped in like this purple silk, very smooth purple silk. And so you're opening it?
I mean, let's not jump to that conclusion yet.
Oh, okay.
First, I want to make sure that there's no like weird markings, right? And I probably want the Huntmaster to look at it too, because there might be face stuff going on with this thing that I don't have any knowledge of.
Well, you kind of like look, kind of like turn it around in your hand. The silk wrapping doesn't appear to have like any kind of markings on it that are visible to your eye. Like it just seems to be a fine silk wrapping around it.
Michelle, look good.
It looks very fancy.
All right, well, let's open it then. Let's see what's inside.
All right, so you kind of open it up. Whenever you kind of like you pull back a flap, pull back another flap, and sitting inside of it is an incredibly old book. It is obviously like this thing is very, very old. You're not exactly sure what the book is, because all of the writing is it's in the squibbles of Arabic. And so you have no idea what the book title is. Do you open it and flip through it to take a better look at it? Or not?
I mean, most likely I would just even casually flip through it. Yeah.
Sure. You flip through it. You see all sorts of like diagrams of like solar systems. You see like anatomical like layouts.
Ooh, it's a picture book.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different like it's pretty obvious that it's some sort of magical book, because it's got like all of the hallmarks of it, but you can't read any of it because it's all in Arabic.
And also, I don't really cast spells, so I'm not sure that this book would be of use to me anyway.
Well, there's that too.
Well, but now, obviously this looks like a magic book.
You can get indebted. I will gladly cause problems for you in that way.
That's okay. I've gotten this far without that happening. So this is a book of magic. I think we know why that crab thing was guarding this.
Well,
I mean,
Good thing we got it away from her.
do you think she was there to sell this? Do you think that she was there to give it to someone?
if she was there to sell it, that would mean that it's pretty valuable. And I know that I'm guessing that we got out of there in a hurry. No, I was waiting for that. I know we got out of there in a hurry, but I don't see her as letting go of this anytime soon. But also, who at the party would be interested in this?
Well, that's a good question.
Well, if you guys would like let me look into the research, the information that I gathered, then maybe we'd find out.
We'll do it. I'm good. I'm on board with that.
I'm for that.
For story purposes, I imagine my information would just finish downloading right now. Ding.
There you go. So you want to find out a little bit more information on this particular book. So what are you trying to find out? What's your goal?
I want to see if the information I got off of the Senator's Network is relevant in any way to this book.
I think that would be an overcome roll, a difficulty of 3.
Okay.
And it sounds like you're using intellect to do that.
Yes.
Because you're using your computery skills.
Intellect of what? I mean, intellect. Overcome of what did you say?
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to roll this, and say the result is a 1, can I, after the result is cast, use my Chasing Rumors stunt, where it adds a +2 for each box of knowledge checked for an overcome? For an overcome or create advantage?
That is a very good question. If that has to be before or after, let's take a look at the mantles. I've got this is Clued Mortal. Right?
Yeah, because I copied it as written, and it doesn't say, so I don't know.
So which stunt is this? Chasing Rumors. Mark out boxes of knowledge to aid rolls to overcome or create advantage when your research into supernatural threats are relevant. +2 for each box marked. I'm going to say after the fact.
Okay.
Just because the way that Fate seems to work is that you don't have to declare before rolls, because that just doesn't seem right. So we're going to say after. So let's see if the macro that I wrote for Roll20 works. I mean, I guess technically we see that it works because we see Evie's roll while we were messing around before the stream went live.
+2? I mean, it's a 2 difficulty?
3 difficulty.
3 difficulty. Okay, sorry. I just kept forgetting.
That's okay.
Thinking about it.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So that is success. Let's see. Do I want to make it tough for you? Because I've got fate points. Let's see. Let's look at Evie's. You know what? I'm going to actually make it a little bit more difficult for you. I'm going to spend a fate point to bring it down to a tie, which will be success at a minor cost. Let me just go ahead and move one of my fate points.
I'm going to mark one of my knowledge boxes to make that a success again.
Fair enough. Just so you know, I was... Okay, so that's a hostile compel. So that means you're actually going to get a fate point at the end of this scene because I was using disgusted by her hunger, your trouble aspect, because there's fresh blood all over Hux's shoulder and it's just distracting you. As it looks delicious. It's it's a wonderful cheeseburger. Mwah! It's gourmet, which is the word of the day. It's the word of the day. So you check off one of your boxes. I'm going to go ahead and mark that here on my little sheet so that I can keep track of that. And so you make that a success. I'm not going to spend another fate point. So you will succeed. What you discover So your little progress bar kind of pops up, and unlike regular television shows where it's actually like it shows like this fancy monitor screen, you just have this like wall of like green text on black background that's just all sorts of like CLI stuff, command line interface stuff that's showing.
Green offends me, so it's blue.
Fair enough. It's blue. You don't want it to be red.
No. No.
Like blood.
Mm-mm.
You sure?
No.
Maybe
It's-
pink.
Nah, it's
No?
blue right now.
All right.
Nah, that's just watered down.
Her hair's blonde, and she has like a blue fade going on in her hair, so
There you go.
it matches the color at the time, so it's blue right now.
There, you color coordinate your hair with your command line interface. All
Of
right.
course I do.
Awesome. Why not? Right? I mean, you knew what the
Don't
Chanel
you?
lipstick was. Actually, I do have my terminal set with beautiful colors. The privilege of being a nerd. So the information kind of comes up on your screen. You're really tracking the flow of traffic. Your connection to the Wi-Fi, like you don't have access to their to their databases or servers or anything, but you've got access to the flow of information. And so you're able to actually tell, like in some messages that are being sent through the network, that a book called The Picatrix is actually what was taken. I'm going to go ahead and put that in chat so that the spelling can be seen. It is a book called The Picatrix. So of course you're like, okay, so what the heck is this thing? So you do some Googling, and you turn up on Wikipedia where I may or may not have found this. The Picatrix was originally written in Arabic, where the title is, I'm going to butcher this, Gayat al-Hakim, which translates into the aim of the sage or the goal of the wise. I will go ahead and copy that into chat just so everybody can see it. Let's see. This was believed to have originated in the 11th century, although possibly the 10th century. It was originally written in Arabic and translated into Spanish and then eventually into Latin. So there exist translations of this book in languages that might be more likely to be read by you guys. It is believed to it is composed of both magic and astrology. One highly influential interpretation refers to it as a handbook of talismanic magic. Let's see. Researcher David Pingree calls it the most thorough exposition of celestial magic in Arabic, and describes the Picatrix as Arabic texts on Hermeticism, Sabianism, Ismailism, astrology, alchemy, and magic produced in the Near East in the 9th and 10th centuries AD. The Picatrix is actually not a single book, but a collection of 4 books. So there's book 1, book 2, book 3, and book 4. What you have is actually book 1, which I will copy and paste into the chat. Book 1 is of heavens and the effects they cause through the images made under them. So what you are probably looking at here, this actual book that's in Ravi's hands right now, as he's casually flipping through, getting his finger oils on this like 10th or 11th century text, is probably one of the original copies in Arabic.
It's like I'm reading, and it dawns on me what Ravi's doing to this book. I spin around and I say, "Put that down right now."
I mean, I listen. I'm not an, so like, I'll just drop it, close it, and let it drop. Like, what? Like, I don't know what this book is.
At that very moment, the lights completely go out. There's...
I have my hand on my mace.
The lights just completely go out.
And my sword's in hand.
Evie, in a drawer of your desk, you pull out a glow stick, you crack it, shake it, and then you can now have light to go and find the generator, or like the little like circuit box, which you flip switches and the power comes back on as much as it does in the room.
Mm-hmm. I have my computer station hooked up to like so many backup batteries.
Oh yeah. Your computer didn't go anywhere. Like it was still like powered up. It was the only light in the room.
The book knocked out the lights?
No, that
Magic
just
has that
happens.
effect on technology sometimes.
No, that just happens. That's just what happens.
Did you not pay your power bill?
This is the Library of Congress. Who's she going to give money for the power to?
Congress.
And when was the last time a congressperson was here in the library?
Yeah. And when was the last time I paid taxes? But that doesn't really matter, does it?
That
Anyways,
is a good point.
somebody please pick up that book and wrap it back in its bindings.
I pick
It's very old and needs to be handled
Yeah,
with
I'm
care.
standing there in front of it, so I'll do that really gently with the silk.
I'm assuming you
Just set it
told
back
us a
on the
little bit
bed.
about what you found, Evie, or not?
Oh yeah, after
After
Robbie
we
wraps it back
wrap
up,
it.
yeah, I will
Hey, Robbie, can I see that real quick?
share
No.
with everybody.
Why not?
Not unless you have gloves.
If that's the case, and I pull out a pair of neoprene gloves from my coat,
Unsurprising.
can I see it now?
Blink, 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 blink. Eyebrow raise.
As
Come
long as no finger oils or any dust has managed to get on the gloves, then yes, I think you would be fine handling them.
No, that's very reliable gloves. I use them all the time. It's gonna.
For touching other things,
What? I don't like to get my hands dirty.
well, you use these gloves to touch other things besides this
No,
book,
not
I would
these
imagine.
new gloves. You never use the same gloves twice. It's unhygienic and it carries evidence over.
Exactly.
Yeah,
See,
why do
Though
you
for
have
this
gloves
for
like
these
that?
reasons, this is completely different because we need to handle this text as if it's an archived manuscript. So please just be careful.
I will. I get it. Don't break the merchandise, otherwise we can't sell it. Ravi, if you please.
I feel like we're in this for very different things. I'm not sure I should hand you this book if you're already talking about selling it.
Just hand it to him. He's shot. He can't get anywhere.
This is me handing you the
You
book.
would be
too.
surprised what you can do with a
here you
gunshot
are.
wound.
So, the first thing I'm going to look for, I'm not actually reading any of the pages, is I'm looking for any pages that look like they've been dog-eared recently, particularly any corners that might have been folded back to serve as a bookmark.
Sure. You any dog ears that would have happened to the book was like a long time ago, like by decades. No recent dog ears. The tome itself does not look like it's been handled recently until you guys have started handling it. Not that you're doing damage, but it basically like there's along the spine there's a little bit of dust from the binding because you guys, Ravi did open it and start flipping through it. You're kind of starting to flip through it, so it's pretty obvious that you guys are the first people to have like actually opened this up and started to interact with it in a while. So it doesn't look like whoever had it before you maybe hasn't done anything with it yet, unless they can look at the book without opening it, but that's the circumstance.
So
All right.
the real question is, was the giant crab lady purchasing or parting with this book, and why?
Well, if she was
That's the $1 million question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the
I
information that I
think it's
got.
worth more than $1 million. So,
Does anybody know offense?
Does the information I have, like off of the network, reveal like who was buying it or anything like that? Like, was it the senator who was selling it, or was the senator buying it?
It mentions that it was stolen. That's really that's it in the message. There's no further details saying like who it was stolen from, what the circumstances were. You don't know. But John, did you say something?
I know a fence.
Like a magical fence?
Oh, well, let's not get into the details here about what he can or cannot fence. Let's just say I know a guy who may know other people who may deal with all of this wonky stuff.
well, here is a very important question we also need to ponder. This crab creature was obviously a very bad person. Do we really want to find who she was selling the book to and give it to them? I don't think that is a good idea.
I think I want to find out who it was stolen from.
Also, how do we know if this crab lady was actually a bad person.
Well, she
And
did
in
attack
fact,
me unprovoked.
Well,
He is a
how do we
knight
know
of the
that you
Lotus.
aren't a bad person, Robbie?
Well, I don't think that bad people are allowed to be knights. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
it's
I
in the
beg to differ. I know
contract.
plenty of them.
You know, plenty of knights who are bad people, just bad people.
Both.
I don't believe that you know a single one. I don't believe you've ever met one because there's not many in the entire world.
Oh, I've met plenty of knights. I've met the Knight of Dawn.
Yeah, okay.
I've met the Knight of the Fey Hollow. He was condescending as crap. I've met the Knights Argent, which they dressed in gold. And that should tell you what you should know about the Knights Argent.
Yeah, nothing you're saying is making any sense to me. You've
What about the
certainly never
knights
met
who
a
say
knight,
mean?
Knight of the Lotus before, that's for sure.
No, not really. But
Wouldn't the Knights Argent be wearing, I don't know, argent instead of d'or? Silver, not gold.
see, it took the Earl King's hunting boy, just a few minutes to catch up with us. But he caught up with us. You caught up with us. By the way, my disdain for your character is just pretty obvious. Since he figured out who you were, he has grown just a little bit more distant, even though he's fully aware of the silver thread in his shoulder.
That's the only thing that's endearing Michel to you right now is the fact that he patched you up.
We're gonna get along famously.
Awesome.
Famously? What?
Oh, hey, we can stop now. We've got the highlight of the night. All right.
Famously gourmet.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay, I'm done.
So, John, did you get my message in Discord?
I was talking with the peoples right here.
Yeah.
I don't see a message from Discord. What's it say?
It was just to John, maybe, because maybe I like John a lot better than the rest of you.
That's fair.
I got
Yeah.
that. It just says you attempted to use a roll command looking for the value of selected token, but no tokens were selected.
No, it's on Discord, not Roll20.
Oh,
Yeah, because if I whisper to you,
Yeah, I
if
see
I
that.
whisper to you in Roll20, this is what happens.
You see it. You see it on Twitch. So
Yeah, there. You see it right there. I just whispered to John, secret thing. None of the other players can see it.
so
Unless they
definitely no
except
screen
for-
no screen peeking. No,
But,
no streams. No
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 screen
streams.
watching.
Yeah, no stream
No.
sniping.
But no, it's at this point that Hux just pulls out like a cell phone from his pocket. I happen to know a guy, or no, I know a woman who could actually probably help us discover who this might have belonged to. She really does deal with materials like this, on almost a daily basis.
Well, maybe don't say what it is on the phone.
Well, oh, you mean the book to her?
Yes.
No, I'm just going to call up for a meeting. Trust me, I know how this works.
I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about, but we'll just see. We'll just find out.
Okay. Well, if you guys don't object, I'm going to make a call. By the way, you all notice that I have an off-brand cell phone in my hand.
It's not a track phone.
It is a track phone, actually. I call.
Oh, we lost somebody.
no!
We lost
Oh, no.
Chris.
The
Oh
minion-
no, we're gonna look so
Oh,
weird.
No, our frames are all messed up again.
There's two Randys.
Oh, again, it happened.
No one needs that many Randys.
Why
one
does
needs
it
that.
do this?
It does this because Zoom is horrible.
Okay.
Although Mallory did say that it might be possible to use Skype to get individual streaming videos. So
Because it'd be fine if it was like a black screen, or maybe there's we could have a technical difficulties flag pop up.
oh yeah,
That'd be
but
too
here's-
easy.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, right.
I have the Zoom window, and then what I do is I import the Zoom window 4 times for the 4 of you, and then I crop it to each of your faces. And then if you guys shut off your video and turn it back on, you're reordered, which means that I have to move you guys around again. Like, I'm
Oh,
actually just
jeez.
surprised right now that the only one, like, Michelle, I can actually, here, we'll do this until John is able, or Christopher is able to join us again. We'll just turn that video off, and then everybody's mostly okay. Let's see, I'll move Ryan's head. There we go. We'll wait till router reboot. So Christopher said he's rebooting his router. So anyway, Hux, you are making your phone call to your friend. Here's the deal. So what do we think reception is like in the secret headquarters? Is it fine? Is it bad?
I make sure it's fine.
All right, so now everybody's back, and hold on. So Evie, make sure that it's fine.
Yeah, she has all kinds of signal boosters all around this place.
All right, you guys are gonna have to give me a moment as I rearrange everybody's video.
Woohoo!
Sorry about that.
We thought you were dead.
Oh, I'm not dead. Not yet.
Even gave a touching you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and rearrange this. So, let's see. Weirdly, the only one who didn't move was Mallory.
Haha, it's because I'm the best.
No, technically I am, because I didn't move, but that's because I'm pulling in my feed from my camera instead of Zoom, because Zoom is the best. Sorry, I don't mean to make bad comments about it that much. So let's just get a nice picture of John here. Live re-editing. All right, there we go. Everybody's in the right places. Places, everybody? All right. So cell reception.
Action.
Yes. Cell reception is wonderful. It's actually being boosted. So you've got 5 bars. Outside in the library, you got like 3.5. So you're doing pretty sweet. There's probably an antenna that's running out to the roof that's boosting the signal. And you're able to make your phone call. Are you trying to do this privately, or are you doing this in front of everybody? How's it going down?
I'm gonna step into like the next room, just because they're gonna hear me do it, but I don't want them looking at me, because they don't want to be that weird guy with like 4 or 3 other people staring at him. So I step in the next room. I think that's the messy room.
That is absolutely the messy room, and there's like some sort of like odor that's like just a disgusting sort of smell from all of this giant pile of stuff. And like right inside the door on a little like makeshift shelf of like milk crates or something, there's like the ashes of a lot of sage that's been burnt, just to kind of like try and cover the smell in the doorway.
Just so much incense.
So much incense. So you make your phone call. It rings and it rings and it rings and it rings. And whenever voicemail picks up, it is not her usual voicemail message. Instead, it's her voice going, Hotel Echo Lima Papa, and then click. The call ends.
Well, that's no good. Okay, click. At that point, that's when I'm going to disassemble the phone. As I walk in there, which you just see him doing just so like abruptly, like
that was a really quick phone call.
Yeah, I just tried to call my fence, and I got a very interesting voicemail message. But first things first, when are you cleaning out that room? That room is awful. I mean,
I'm just one person. I just keep the door shut and try to keep incense burning 24/7. So
that's more important than.
Look, I'm pretty sure I saw a couple of dead rats playing Super Nintendo in there. But yeah, you gotta clean that room out.
If you want to clean it, you can. It's fine.
Well, I know actually a very reputable cleaner, although he's not really that kind of cleaner. But more importantly, no, the voicemail message was Hotel Echo Lima Parent, I think. Was that close, Randy? The last 2 I
Papa.
kind of remodeled. Papa.
Help.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Nope.
Maybe we should go do something about that.
For what it's worth,
would guess that this is connected to this blue crab, which I believe could be some sort of demon creature. So I'm all for going to fight this thing.
And for what it's worth, we should probably check this out, because even though, Charlene's a little bit of probably a rougher edge than some of you are used to, she would have the information on the book, and I'm not really certain who else might in this city.
So it seems like we are fated to spend at least a little more time together. Do you know where you can find her then?
I do.
Well, I have a van.
Let's take your
I thought it
van.
was-
Wait,
I thought it was Evie's van.
No, it's Robbie's van.
Oh,
No,
then I
remember
was.
Evie said she would never be able to afford a car.
That's right. Okay.
And neither would I, except for my clingy parents didn't want me to be alone in this scary city without a mode of transportation. So they bought me like a $500 van that is in really, really bad shape.
if you ever want to either get a new car, I know a guy. I know a really reputable guy, man. He can get you any car.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about when you say reputable.
No, he's completely legitimate. These are legitimate cars.
They aren't legitimate cars, but I'm sure the person you're talking about is reputable because I do probably know who you're talking about.
Hey, you know what? If you need a scooter, I mean, I don't know. I'm not making.
Well, you know what? We've got the van. Let's just take the van.
All right, we'll take the van.
Do you guys need me? I'm probably just going to slow you down. I can help you guys back here.
I mean, I don't know. I guess whoever wants to come can come. I mean, this isn't really a planned thing. We're just, it sounds like this person needs help. I don't know.
Now, Evie, do you really want to let this book go with them wherever they're going without you being there?
That sounds like a compel to me.
That sounds like a GM saying, "Don't split the party." That's what that sounds like to me.
It's at that point that you've noticed that I've taken one of the gloves off, but I'm looking like I'm going to pick up that book again.
So now in Fate, though, you can split the party because she can still be back at home base creating tons of advantages for us.
Heck yeah.
But I don't know if this is a situation for that. But Fate is actually better at that than a lot of games.
This is true. Allow me as the GM to say that man at the desk, while it was fun in Spider-Man Homecoming,
Woman
woman at the desk, is a fun NPC role. And in Fate, we like active players who take part in what's going on. It's why you have a laptop.
Find me a coffee shop.
That is true. You do want to be. We want you to be an active participant.
An active participant.
Yeah.
Also,
Well, if worst comes to worst, you could always you could be the person in the van rather than the person at the desk.
That's fine.
That's great.
plus, wouldn't you like to know who my mysterious friend is?
She probably already knows.
You already said Charlotte.
Charlene.
Charlene, sorry. I couldn't remember. It was really close. Personally, I was really close. But
I just
Do
want to
we-
say, oh, go ahead.
Well, do we know Charlene? When he says Charlene, are we like, oh yeah, she deals in magical antiquities? We've all had run-ins with her at one point or another. Or is this like somebody specific?
Let's see. I don't know. Hux, would you share like Charlene's full name with them?
No, I don't think I'd share her full name. I would just have to say Charlene. And I'm not even certain that that's going to be her real name, because if she is a professional fence, then she's probably got the name that people who deal with her know, and then her public name. So she's a successful fence, so she's got to keep her identity separate. Although Mallory would probably be able to figure it out, because Mallory might be the one to go. No, that's the alias known to Randy Oast, who lives in Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, middle of nowhere. It's fantastic.
yeah.
It really, really is.
Hey, I tell you what, you should see my mortgage. It's amazing. It's wonderful. There are like 3 people in my town. So let's see.
One of them's me.
You know what? I'm going to say that no, none of you guys know Charlene.
Damn.
I
I
definitely
was going to
would.
ask if there was any way that I would know who Charlene is.
Probably,
If
but you've known so much already tonight. So,
That's the point. I know everything.
this is yeah. All right. So let's see. We're going to. I lost track of things. Oh my God. All right. So Charlene, you guys got the phone call. You realized that it was NATO Alphabet for help. thanks to Evie. I mean, Hux and everybody probably picked up on it as well. And you guys, what are you guys doing?
I'm just waiting for them to start taking us out to the van. I have no other prep needed.
I don't need any prep. I'm ready to go kick some ass.
Yeah, I mean, I have my mace. That's all I need.
All right, everybody, eyes closed. Let's get out of here.
Eyes closed.
Your eyes were closed when you came in, so.
He was barely conscious when he came in.
Okay, yeah, sure. Eyes closed.
Just turn the lights off again. No one can see anyway.
All right, so you guys exit the secret area with Evie, trying to make sure that you guys don't know exactly where you guys are at. You guys leave the Thomas Jefferson building as part of Library of Congress. You head to the van, which is parked near a collection of trees. Basically, the van was parked trying to be obscure to not draw attention to it because it is kind of ramshackle. As you guys approach the van, from behind the van, a short, about 3.5 foot tall, comes up to about Michelle's waist high, is a green-skinned, large-eared creature. It has a Glock in its hand, sitting comfortably. It's got what looks like a bulletproof vest on. It has short cropped gray hair as well as a short cropped gray beard. And it kind of, Michelle, you would recognize.
It's a goblin.
Yes, you definitely recognize it as a goblin. Michelle, you can actually see in some of the trees there are other goblins that are kind of hidden. The rest of you don't see the goblins. And this one goblin just kind of walks between the van and you guys and sort of crosses its arms. And addresses Michelle. So Michelle, what's going on here?
We seem to be in a bit of a bind here, and I think that we need some assistance.
Well, you did send for some assistance, so we're here. I see you've got a few people with you. Everything okay? Is there a problem? I heard of a ruckus tonight.
There was a giant crab monster that caused some chaos at a party earlier this evening. It was extremely powerful, and it took both me and this gentleman here, and I kind of nod my head toward Ravi without explaining exactly what he is. And he is almost my equal in abilities, and we barely were able to slow it down.
Well, you are a novice, so he kind of looks at Ravi and says, "We appreciate the help."
I don't even know what's
so
going
he kind
on
of
right now.
he walks.
I'm going
up
to be in the van. This face stuff is not for me.
He actually kind of interposes himself between you and the van.
I'll actually put my hand on his shoulder and prevent Ravi from going forward. You should be very careful. Eamon is kind, twitchy, I think is the proper word to use.
I cough out loud.
I don't need to deal with Twitchy tonight. I'm just gonna go back now. You guys have fun, and then Evie will attempt to leave, and I imagine she's going to get blocked from doing so.
Yes. Some goblins come up from behind. They're also dressed in military garb, basically kind of like head to toe black, bulletproof vests, Glocks. It's like they've embraced the 21st century.
Just out of character, they're Fae. How can they use weapons made of metal?
Probably composite.
Porcelain guns.
They're 3D printed.
That's even better. I love it. They're 3D printed
Nice.
guns.
3D printed.
They're 3D printed firearms. So they're single use. There we go.
Once a clip is empty, it's done.
Yeah, I was thinking porcelain weapons, but 3D printed weapons is way better.
Yes, awesome.
So yeah, so Michelle, everything good?
For now, yes, but we may need some help later on if this giant blue crab decides to show its ugly face again.
All right.
But did you call us an escort or did you call us minders?
Est-ce qu'il y a une différence entre les deux?
Okay, I'm gonna need that in English.
And he just ignores you.
English. I know you were just speaking it.
Ta mère.
I take out my phone and turn on like auto translate and just hold it up.
Oh, now I have to subtitle myself. Damn it.
So there you go. So this goblin kind of walks up to Hux and kind of looks at you, looks kind of like up at you for a moment and says, "You're half Fey, aren't you?"
Yeah, we knew that.
Well, she knew that. I am.
So are you interested in exploring more of your Fey culture and heritage?
You can pass in the recruitment drive. I'm pretty comfortable being who I am.
So stuck in the middle, not sure where to be, not sure if you're on the side of the mortals like her or stuck on the side of the gifted like Michelle here.
Gifted.
Oh, don't put me in the middle of it.
No, just I imagine he's a pretty swell guy, but no, I'm incredibly happy where I am. I don't need to be running around with junior Führer types.
Oh, please. We don't care too much for those sorts of I don't care much for that talk. But anyway, so well, would you accept a gift from the Earl King?
Of course I would.
Hold on.
He reaches into like a little like side pouch on his belt. He produces a small round disc about an inch round. He holds it up. He unscrews the top of it. He opens it up. You see this like this green glittery substance inside. He said, and he hands it to you. Do you take it?
I grab his wrist before he. I'm like, okay, Hux, you're half Fey. You know how Fey work. Gifts don't come without like many strings. So I'd not do this.
What? That is impossible. The Earl King would never, ever expect anything from a gift so freely given. And then I just kind of like wink at her once, and I just turn around and be like, I look closer at what the gift is. So tell me, what is that?
Certainly. If you use this lip balm, you can speak with the authority of the Earl King. So in game terms, what this means is this is basically lip balm of glibness. When you choose to use it, you mark 2 boxes of indebted to the Earl King, as he has imbued you with his like the authority that he has. And for an entire scene, any action that involves talking is at scale. So so basically, like if you decide that you want to like talk your way past guards or like really like double down on creating advantages and like a social aspect scene, you can get scale to like super empower your talking.
Does it only work on mortals?
What's that?
Does it only work on mortals?
No, what happens is it's your scale. So you're half Fey. I believe you operate at the supernatural scale. So there's like mortal and then there's supernatural. So basically what's going to happen is that you're going to go up 1, which I think is legendary. And so every time you roll dice that involve talking in a scene, when you use this bomb.
Otherworldly.
Otherworldly. Thank you. You then get to choose a +1 on the roll to be added automatically, or +2 to the result after things are done, or you get an extra free invoke on advantages that you create. And that's for each separate roll that you make for the entire scene. So.
No, you know what? I'm going to accept this gift from the Earl King. And let's speak with his authority.
Just
There you
shake my
go.
head and roll my eyes.
So I've copy and pasted it into the Roll20 chat so that you can add it to your character sheet. It's single use, so when you use it, it's gone.
Just
So-
drive that wedge between us, Randy. Just drive that wedge.
I'm doing what I can. You guys, I'm learning your characters and learning ways in which I can tease out destruction and horribleness.
Oh no, I've got plans for this. So I thank him profoundly and profusely. I thank him.
He shakes your hand and he goes, "My name's Olwyn."
Thank you, Owen.
So he actually will. He'll also hand you a leaf. It's like a green maple leaf. It just seems like an ordinary green maple leaf to you. And he says that if you decide that you would like to embrace more of your Fey heritage, whisper a message to me and I will receive it.
I will. Thank you.
And Olwen kind of turns away. He kind of pats Michelle on the thigh because that's the height that Olwen is, and basically says it's your job to recruit him. And with that, the goblins kind of fade off into the dark, because it is still the middle of the night because you guys were at that party and you guys haven't slept or anything. So,
Wow.
All right.
If you use this lip balm, I can essentially become your boss. Wow. Man, that'd be a heavy ground. I mean, I don't know. What could I ask you to do?
Oh,
Have you ever co-signed on a mortgage? What's your credit rating?
Je ne suis pas sûr si je veux.
I'm just
To
curious.
these-
You're supposed to recruit me, and nothing.
All right.
will recruit me
Well,
more than
we should stay on point. We need to get there. We got somebody in trouble. Don't forget about that.
What's Google Translate doing with Michelle's?
I am not sure if I should allow you to have that item.
It disappears back inside my coat. Both the items.
Can we get coffee before we go on this adventure?
I pull out a
Sure.
French press that's hot and steamy, ready to go.
I don't believe you.
You just happen to have that on your person at all times.
you can do a
I'm a
lot of
hunt
things.
master. Hunters have to have their morning coffee, otherwise they get cranky.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we can stop. I'm sure there's some. It's
Besides-
DC.
Wouldn't everybody just prefer to have some green leaf tea? Come on. Come on.
I'll pull into the Starbucks, but don't forget, there's literally maybe somebody's life on the line. So
Yeah,
think
that's correct.
about that while you enjoy your coffee.
Well, we can drive while I'm drinking my coffee. So
You guys can do drive-through Dunkin' Donuts. I don't think a
Oh.
Starbucks is going to be open in the middle of the night.
hey, there's drive-through.
Okay, fine. But if
Starbucks.
we're stopping at
There are
Dunkin' Donuts,
drive-through
I
Starbucks,
also
but
want
not
a
open that
donut.
late.
Not in
Anybody
your
else want a
town,
donut?
maybe.
Should
What
we
kind of
just get
donuts
half
does
dozen?
everybody order?
Let's just get a half dozen and split them.
What about donut holes?
I'll take some donut holes.
Also,
donut holes
Oh
are
my goodness,
disgusting.
there's someone in trouble. Let's go help them.
Also, I might need to borrow some cash because I'm a little short right now.
Don't look at me.
Look at your parents. They're the reason why you're short. That was a
All right, well, we should go
joke.
rescue this
All right.
person.
I look at Hux to cover the coffee.
Really? Really? This is robbery, which is ironic. But it's way too late for you guys to run it.
I mean, you were just given a wonderful gift, so
You
I think
see,
you could treat us all to the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, no. We'll use my money. Pull out a wallet.
That's true. Can
Those
you
are ugly.
can you
kids.
use that lip balm to get them to give us a dozen donuts for? You know what? 2 dozen donuts for free.
I could. That is a thing.
I'll allow it.
Michelle, do you think I could use the lip balm, the authority of the Earl King, to let me get 2 dozen donuts for free?
Would
And
that
just
wait?
ignore
Would that
him.
use up the whole one use of the lip
Oh,
balm?
completely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go rescue this person.
Oh, ugly kids. Just ugly kids. Cute dog though. And then after all the money's taken out of there to pay for the donuts, you see, I just hold on. We got to stop at the trash can real quick. Put the wallet in the trash can. All right, let's go.
I just have a big cup of like black tea.
I purposely
Oh.
ordered green leaf tea.
All right,
All right. Are we done role playing donuts?
Yeah, I guess we can be done with that. I guess.
Does no one order like an egg and cheese bagel or something? Like,
I don't know if they'd be
At
serving breakfast
Dunkin'
this
Donuts?
late. They'd probably
yeah,
just have
Dun-
donuts.
They've got
Yeah,
also,
they have
no,
amazing croissants. Oh man,
Dude, I haven't eaten at Dunkin' Donuts since before I could drive.
As
You're not
we're
missing much.
as we're standing in line for Dunkin' Donuts, I put in my order, and then I look back to the rest of the group. Listen, no matter what we do, we're not getting any donut holes. They're disgusting.
Like an odd judgment to make as we're on our way to rescue someone.
All right.
Gourmet Dunkin' Donuts.
Gourmet Dunkin' Donuts. There we go. Awesome. You guys get the premium, the cake donuts, not the sugar donuts, the cake donuts, because cake donuts
cake
are
batter.
awesome. Sugar donuts are awful. They're the worst.
Obviously, whipped cream filled are the best donuts.
Crullers, French crullers are the best.
C- at best.
Remember, I can eject you from this game. So
Not if I bring you donuts.
this is true.
I'm
If you
trying
brought
to
me-
keep-
If you brought me donuts, then I would definitely do that. So Evie, I've given you your fate point back because we're outside of the previous scene, and I did a hostile compel on one of your aspects. So you're back up to 3 fate points. Let's see, that means that I get my fate point back as well. So I'm back up to 4 fate points because I'm the GM and I get all of them. So all right, so you guys head off. You guys drive around. You find the apartment, Charlene's apartment. So Hux, you know like where you know where to get in touch with her. You know where she lives. Basically, you're going to have to get into the building. Hux, I imagine that you've got the skill set to break into the building pretty easily. I'm going to assume that you don't need a roll unless you'd like to tell me how you're breaking. Actually, tell me how you're breaking into the building. You're going to succeed, but how does he get into her apartment?
I can imagine that she's got like one of those ones where you have to buzz people in. But I can only imagine that just like after a while, I figured out like, just if I pull out like a screwdriver from my little pocket tool, if I can just make like a quick little jab inside one of the wires, the door opens. And then it's just walking on in. It's a nicer apartment building, but not fancy. Everybody's got really large boxes for their mail. There's no like night watchman in there, but there are cameras. And then I'm just going to nonchalantly just walk in there, and I'm just going to turn around, smile at them, and go, cameras. And then walk over to the elevator. But I'm going to stop before we get to the elevator. Should we go up the stairs?
That would be a prudent idea.
Yeah, as much as my knees are going to hate that, we should probably do it.
Yeah, she lives on like the 10th or 11th floor, so.
Oh, good. Well, we'll get our exercise and I'll get our steps in for the day.
bit of a walk.
Michelle gets up quickly and waits for everybody.
Evie just looks at the rest of you, and then looks at herself, and then looks back at the rest of you. I'll take the elevators. See you guys in like 2 seconds, or I should say like 10 minutes, I guess.
Go ahead. No, that's actually not bad. Take the elevator.
And while waiting for everybody else, he's going to kind of case the joints, see if there's anything noticeable that would be out of place or hostile, I guess would be a good word to use.
So let's see. So Michelle, you get to the door first. But let me think. You have to wait for Hux so that he can get bypass the lock on the door, which he does. Ravi, did you take the elevator or the stairs?
I'll go where everybody else goes. I'll take the stairs.
All right.
I mean, I want to
taking
take the
the
elevator.
elevator.
Oh, well, then I will also take the elevator.
We'll stop one floor before the top, like where our destination is.
Yeah.
Ravi, you go up. I'm gonna stay a little bit behind.
Oh, I see.
I am not.
Well, you know what? I have the
for
mace. I'll draw the holy mace. I'm ready to go all full knight if there's a problem.
Sure. So Ravi, you get off the elevator. You've got the mace in hand. Oh no, who do we lose?
Chris!
I bet it's Christopher again.
Yeah,
It's definitely Christopher.
If I was a betting man,
Yep.
it was.
All right.
who am I kidding? I am.
Yay! We'll wait for his router to reboot. And then I'm going to investigate some options for next week so that we don't have like my face where Ryan is and John where Christopher should be. We'll keep going while he reboots, and then hopefully everybody should be back in the right place. So, I'm sorry, what's that?
Nothing. I was just mindless music.
Gotcha. All right. So, Ravi, you get off the elevator, and as the doors close, you kind of turn around, and you see like a drunk person kind of just meandering like down the hallway, kind of like wanders over next to you, like presses the down button on the elevator, kind of like looks over at your mace, looks up at you, and just kind of like takes a step to the side and just waiting for the elevator.
I'm gonna keep kind of look at him suspiciously, but like make some space for him, kind of awkwardly.
Yeah. Now you got off a floor below. Are you gonna go up the stairs, or what are you gonna do?
I don't know, Evie. Was that the plan? I was just gonna walk, but Evie said we should take the elevator, so I thought she had a plan.
She wanted you to get off one floor below and then take the stairs up.
I wanted to get off one floor below myself.
Mostly
because I didn't want to.
So that's why I wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Then I was confused.
When we get I'll hit the buttons to go to the top floor and then the one right below it. Basically, as we're climbing, I look over to Robbie and say, as you can see by my spindly body, I'm not built for any kind of confrontation. So you go up ahead. I'll stick back a little bit so that I can make a quick exit and help you guys as well, just a little bit behind. I'll work on trying to find a spot where I can crack this person's Wi-Fi.
Sounds good. All right, I'll head up.
Okay, I'm going upstairs, but I'm way behind the Earl King's Scoutmaster.
Oh yeah.
Not everyone can be the cool ranger.
This is true. All right, so let's see. Michelle and Hux get to the door. Ravi, you get off at the elevator about before Hux gets there, so it's kind of Michelle, Ravi, Hux. Evie, you got off a floor below. This building, as Hux described it, it's a little bit fancier. And so there's actually like a little like seating area that you could sit out in the hallway if that's what your goal was, to like find somewhere to sit down, or what were you trying to do?
For me or for
Evie? What's Evie trying to do a floor below?
Sorry. Basically, Evie is going to try and I would imagine Hux would have described where exactly in the layout of this apartment building her apartment was. Yeah. So Evie would like to basically just find the apartment that's directly below it. Possibly see if anybody's home in that apartment, and if not, attempt to break in. Don't know how successful that would be, and then just get right under it so that she could access the Wi-Fi network and do some hacking.
All right, let's see. We'll deal with that in just a moment. So Hux, Michelle, and Ravi, you guys get to the door. Hux, you manage to jimmy the door open pretty easily. When you get inside, you see that it is a one-bedroom apartment. It does have... it's a lot of IKEA shelves and organizational things, keeping track of everything. There's a lot of like categories and labels on things. They're not obvious labels. It's obviously coded, but there is an organizational structure here. There is... in one corner of the room, there's like soundproofing material. There's a microphone, not unlike the microphone that I've got right here. And a computer station there. And let me think. So there's a collection of papers and filing cabinets over by the desk where the computer is. And I imagine you guys are going to start like looking through the room. Is that true?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, there's nothing obviously like this place doesn't look like it was like destroyed recently, right?
That is correct. Yes, it looks like
So,
somebody
okay.
lives here, but it doesn't look like it's been ransacked.
Right, that's the word I'm looking for. And obviously there's no, broken doors, the locks weren't busted open, nothing looks like somebody broke in.
Correct.
Okay, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. I don't know what we're looking for, so I'm just looking for obvious dangers.
Sure. So let's see. I'm going to have, let's see. So Hux, you know Charlene, so I'm going to have you make an overcome roll. As you're trying to kind of, I'm sorry, I'm being prescriptive instead of asking you what you want to do. What do you want to do, John?
Well, that was what I was about to ask, because I was going to actually just start looking for evidence of anything being out of the ordinary. I've only been here on business, but I tend to case joints whenever I walk in them, usually looking for like ways to escape or just, to be blunt, anything that looks like it's expensive. So I would think I would know if something was out of place. That's what my eyes looking for.
Sure. So Hux, your relationship with Charlene, you know that she is in addition to kind of being a fence, she is a podcaster. She runs a podcast called The District Sleeps Tonight. It is a music podcast with supernatural stories woven into it. So she does kind of report on the supernatural a little bit, but she's also a fence in sort of supernatural goods. Nothing super major because she's fairly minor and doesn't want to draw too much attention to herself. So it's like small little like charms and talismans and things of that nature. You know that she does dive into some of her supernatural stories a little bit much. And so you begin to look around like her notes on her desk and such. It seems to me that this might be because you're trying to suss out what she's doing and find, I think that like guile might be pretty good to find like her notes and what might be going on. So an overcome difficulty of 3.
Okay. I'm not completely familiar with how to use the macro, even though Ryan was trying to show me. So
Sure. If you click on your token, the one that says Hux, if you click on it, a bunch of things will pop out and you can ignore those. Then hit the Fate Dice PCs macro, and then just fill in the prompts like why are you rolling? This is an overcome roll. It'll be what are you doing? Then type of roll is overcome. Then your approach, which is guile. And then the difficulty is a 3, which is good. And then if you hit submit, it will do the die roll. And it'll just make it nice and formatted. All right. So John rolled a 1 against a difficulty of 3 good. Now, it looks like you rolled 3 minuses on that dice roll. So if you decide that you want to spend a fate point to reroll, that would probably be pretty good.
I'm going to do that.
All right. What aspect are you using for that reroll?
The aspect that I'm using, operative for the discarded.
Sure. You're used to searching for stuff like this.
Come on, dice, don't fail me now.
All right. So
digital dice. And then guile. And then you said +3 for good?
Correct.
Come on. 4.
All right. Sweet. Let's see. Can I make your life more difficult?
Boo.
I know, right? Just because I can. Let's see. I'm going to say... What? Oh. No, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say no. You succeed. You managed to. All right. So good job, Hux. Hux, you have managed to you search her like papers that are on her desk, and it looks like you've kind of you kind of go through the papers. It takes a little while, but you manage to see that she's got a couple of stories going that she's putting together for her podcast. And the one that has your attention is there is a story about a woman by the name of Vanna Grass. This is legit a random name that I rolled, but Vanna Grass. And she was tracking down a story on someone with that name. There seems to be some ties to like there's indications that it's related to like people of power and authority in DC, and so it seems to be the most like suspicious, like of all the stories that she's got going, this seems to be the one that like if she was going to go missing, this would probably be the one that pissed off the wrong people.
Okay.
So you get the feeling that she's got some notes that actually, let's see. So you got a 4. There are actually some notes that say that admitted to George Washington University Hospital. And that seems to be like the last thing that she's got like written down on her notepad. Like you take a little bit of pencil over the notepad and it reveals like admitted to George Washington University Hospital.
Mallory, do we have like your cell phone number? Would you have given that to us? So how are we going to contact you if you're floor down?
She would have given a number to somebody. Yeah.
Okay.
She probably would have handed it to. Okay, here's what would have happened. She would have handed a burner phone to Robbie.
Speed dial.
Yeah,
1.
I'll make the call. Yeah, there's only one number programmed into this phone.
It's 5. That number
4.
that's programmed in is 5.
And yet it seems to work.
Anybody else know who Vanna Grass is?
No.
Do I?
No, none of you know who
No.
Vanna Grass is.
That name means nothing to me.
Apparently she was tracking her. Let me know when you get Evie on the phone.
Well, I speed dial Evie. I guess she's on the phone now.
Yeah.
Hi, Evie.
Evie.
Yeah. What do you need?
Does the name Vanna Grass mean anything to you? I'm shouting obnoxiously over his
I'll
shoulder.
just hand you the phone. Here's me handing you the phone.
What? What was we were doing before? Okay, jeez. Hey, Evie. Does the name Vanna Grass mean anything to you?
Well, I was just about to say, doesn't mean anything to me. Randy?
What?
Randy, doesn't mean anything to me?
No, it doesn't. Let me know if there's an echo. I have to charge my headphones. I literally need 5 minutes. They just died. It sucks.
Everybody just make loud noises.
Yep.
Loud noises.
Loud noises.
no,
all
it
right.
looks like-
So Evie, you're a floor below. You managed to get into like the apartment. It wasn't a problem. It was abandoned. You managed to get in. And you get this call. The name Vanna Grass doesn't do anything for you, and you guys are role playing really well with those phones. Thank you.
We are. No, so it looks like there's a lot of information here where she was chasing a story, and I'm flipping through stuff that obviously so that Michelle and Robbie can see it. And I'm guessing she went to go and track her down. And then I've got this note here that says admitted to George Washington Memorial Hospital.
Well, I'm almost into her personal computer file, so like you just give me a little bit, I might be able to look it up. So
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Sorry, University Hospital. All right. We'll just sit here. I wonder what she's got in the fridge. I walk over to the fridge.
okay, you can hang up now.
No, that's
Hey.
cool. Let me know.
Hux, what are you doing?
I'm thirsty.
Stay on task.
I am on task. I'm waiting to get information from Evie. I
Yeah,
opened the
what
fridge.
information is Evie trying to get?
I'm trying to get into her personal computer files. Email, various social media.
Well, what
accounts.
information are you trying to get?
Okay. Basically, what I would like to do through reality, actual, how you do hacking, basically just looking this person up and also getting some information from Hux since he's on the phone with me, he can just give me some information of things around the apartment. Basically, just try to brute force my way in through the social media accounts and emails to see if I can find out basically what her last communications would be. Through email or through social media, it should be one of those things, and probably something for today that made her send out the help voicemail. Also, I'd like to see if I can pull anything up in her email or social media about this. What was it, Vanessa?
Vanessa
It
Grass.
was Vanna.
Vanessa
No, Vanna.
Vanna Grass.
Vanna.
Wait, she doesn't have a personal computer in her apartment you could just tag into?
I'm a floor below. I'm
Yeah.
doing it remotely.
I know, but I mean, if they're both connected to the same Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's what she's doing, I think.
So
Who
yeah,
knows?
Evie, you are doing all of this hacking stuff, and Ravi just kind of hits the space bar on the laptop, and it powers up, and everything's logged in.
Hey, look, I hacked this computer.
You are the, how do the young kids say, Litzors?
I do work
Wow.
IT as my day job.
You were really good at hacking that computer.
I know how to press buttons and wake computers up from sleep mode.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Hold on. My head was in the fridge.
Anyway, since I'm already sitting at I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to have Evie, why don't you come upstairs and do this?
Hux, hand the phone to Robbie while I'm coming up.
Okay. Phone to Robbie.
Evie, why don't you just come up and do this? Because
Yeah, I'm coming. Just hold
Okay.
on. Like, listen, you could do a couple things for me while I'm coming up the stairs. So just listen, get into her Facebook and Twitter, look at her Instagram DMs, open up her email accounts, and like just do a search for
Click.
for Vanna Grass and blah 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 blah.
yeah, I'm
As
doing all
I-
that.
Yeah.
Search.
And
I don't know how to search hidden files and folders, and I don't know how to do all that, but I'm sure Evie does.
Yeah. So Evie gets there. Ravi, you've done your best. You've tried to uncover what's going on, but Evie kind of like sits down at the computer and kind of like cracks her knuckles and goes to town. Evie, you find that in her Facebook profile there is a bunch of alerts. One of the recent alerts says, what is it? The most recent alert says you are near George Washington Hospital or George Washington University Hospital. Would you like to leave a review?
What about anything about this Vanna Grass?
You find the search histories on Vanna Grass. Basically, let's see. So Vanna Grass. So you guys get to help me figure out what Vanna Grass is about. Actually, that's not true. I've got a little bit of information about Vanna Grass. What would you guys know? Or what would Charlene know? Charlene knows that Vanna Grass is a college student in the DC area. There are a lot of pictures on her Instagram, Vanna Grass's Instagram, of her going to fancy parties, with a lot of powerful people, and which kind of seems odd for a college student. She doesn't come from a family of wealth or power. So not sure why she might be there. But it seems a little bit odd. And then about, I'd say maybe like 6 months ago, her Instagram feed just became more and more like pictures of her dog and less pictures of like her at fancy parties. In fact, there aren't any like real pictures of her. A couple of like face selfies in the last 5 months.
So, but there are pictures of her.
Yes.
Does this look like the person that I ran into at the party?
No, it does not.
Oh, okay. Then no, I've never seen her before.
No, but good question.
She's a shot in the dark.
I'm going to take a guess that this person was silenced. They keep looking. Anyways, yeah, she's at the university hospital, like you said. So if we want to head there next, we can.
There we do. I mean,
Is this a laptop?
Yeah. Let me think. Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's just grab it and go.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need to be here to for me to keep looking into this. So
Do some hacking on the road.
Yeah, and if we stay here too long, Hux is going to steal everything. So we should
I'm
just
not
get going.
stealing anything. She would have offered me a drink when I came in. She is very polite. You judge. You're too quick to judge. I think the nicest.
So what did you find in her fridge that you're drinking?
This is just soda. In a mug. That's all it is.
What kind of soda?
Mountain Dew.
yeah, what kind
Out
of
of character, I'm asking what Hux found in the fridge that he's drinking.
Mountain Dew.
what kind of pop did you find in the
Mountain Dew.
Soda.
It's
Diet?
a fridge.
Not pop.
pop?
It is
It's
soda.
pop.
It is not pop.
It's
Pop.
pops.
All right. Everyone who thinks
It's
it's
a Coke.
soda, raise your hand.
Hux is clearly
Soda.
a guy to call it a Coke, even though it's not a Coke.
All right.
What kind of Coke you drinking? Mountain Dew. As someone from Austin, I 100% understand.
Yeah. That reminds me. Never ask for Pepsi in Atlanta.
Oh no, because they
yeah.
don't serve Pepsi. It's just Coke.
Yeah. I made the mistake of asking a waiter. I'm like, I'll take a soda. I'll take a Coke or Pepsi, whatever. I got laid into by the waiter. So,
There is no Pepsi, only Coke.
yes, this is true. This is true. All right, so you guys are hitting the road. You guys head out. You guys go to George Washington University Hospital. Let's see. Whenever you get to the hospital, what do you guys want to do? You guys just go. What do you guys do when you get to the hospital?
What I'd like to do,
Check.
if this is anywhere within possibility, if I could get into the basically what Evie would like to do is put herself in to be on the approved visitation list for the person I'm
Vanna.
looking for. Not Vanna.
Vanagrass. Oh,
Not Vanna Grass. Charlene. Is that her name?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Basically, to put myself under a pseudonym to be on the approved visitation of Charlene if she's there. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, that makes sense. And this is a big hospital, right? We've heard of it. So
Yeah.
Lots-
It's a student hospital. So there are a lot of student doctors there, but it's a legit hospital.
Okay.
then
Well-
yeah, we gotta play this right. So no, that sounds great. Getting us on the list. How many people can see her?
Well, so Evie, I imagine that you're trying to like get added to the list of people who can visit not Vanna Grass, but Charlene.
yeah, because we know that she's supposed to be here. So
Yes. So this is one of those instances where it's a little bit easier to do soft hacking than hard hacking. So
Yes.
basically, you kind of like call information, and the lady at the desk is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, there's no." Do you give a last name for Charlene?
does Charlene have a last name?
Yes,
Yeah.
she does. Bagley.
Yeah, it was
Charlene,
Yeah, I'd say Charlene
Bagley.
Bagley.
yeah, Bagley.
gonna
Sorry,
go-
I clicked. I have the two windows open, so I was clicking between them.
Yeah, trust me, I know. I've got like a million windows open. I'm like, what am I staring at now? Am I looking at the right thing? It's crazy. I copy and pasted her name into the Roll20 chat. That way everybody can have it. And it can be seen on the stream. So you call in, the woman at the front desk is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, honey. There's no Charlene Bagley admitted into the hospital."
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Must be the wrong place. And then I hang up, and I look at Hux, and I'm like, "Is that her real name?"
Randy, was that her real name?
Yeah, that's her real name.
Well,
Does
she might
she
not
have
have. She might
an
have given
alias?
an alias. There you go.
In alternate names that she goes by to avoid such entanglements.
Would we have misinterpreted it and Vanna Grass is the one in the hospital?
Well, considering you were in Charlene's apartment and Charlene wrote on her notepad, admitted to George Washington University Hospital amid the pile of notes about Vanna Grass, it seems like Vanna Grass is probably the one who was admitted to the hospital.
Okay.
Yes, that makes sense now.
Okay. Yeah.
We kind of did a really poor job connecting those dots, didn't we?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Listen, you guys are new Scoobies. Like, you know, you're too busy. You're too busy gnawing at each other to focus on the mysteries. It's okay.
Listen, I get most of my information. Like I do most of my information and like gathering remote. So this is a bit new to me. Anyways, they know my voice. Hux, it's your turn. I hand the phone to him. Say you're her brother.
Got it. I called him.
Oh, hello.
Hi. I was just trying to have some flowers delivered. I'm trying to deliver them to the room of Vanna Grass. Can you tell me what floor she's located on?
Oh, sure. Give me just a moment. And you hear some clicking on a keyboard. Thank you. It's like
It's a drum keyboard.
Sorry.
awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
That better?
That's much better. That's awesome. Great. I'm glad that we've got some Foley artists among us.
Get the Foley work.
So she goes, yeah, she's on the 7th floor, and she gives you a room number.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
You have a good day now.
Hang up. Never even let me get to the part where I was her brother, concerned about her. No, but I give them on the floor. What floor is that?
It's the 7th floor.
7th floor.
And give me just a moment. I'm going to be reattaching my headphones. So.
He's wiring in. That means we're going to get into combat.
I am.
Yep. The jam's getting wired.
I am. And guess what? Wait. Damn it.
Oh no. Did you screw up the audio?
No, I didn't screw up the
Audio
audio. I
bugs.
screwed up my audio.
I was gonna say, how does it feel to have us talking directly into your ears now?
It's awesome. It's great. I love hearing your voices. They're so melodic and remind me of fingernails down a chalkboard. So let's continue.
I was in band, not choir, for a reason.
Yeah. All right. So 7th floor of the hospital. What would you guys like to do?
I'm going to try to find a long coat because I have a large knife strapped to my thigh and I'd rather conceal it and not just walk around with it blatant because we're not in Texas.
Yeah, Texas, it's allowed now.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see.
That's Dr. Bowie. That's his operating knife.
My friends call me David. David,
yes.
No, that's a smart idea.
I think we
I
should
did not
probably
give
just
you
go
my
in
gun.
groups of 2 because 4 weirdos walking up to this woman's room all at the same time is going to look a little strange.
Oh no, I'm just gonna wait in the waiting room just down the hall. Interviewing witnesses is not my forte, so standing guard and keeping an eye out for anyone who might be after Vanna is more in my wheelhouse.
So you guys are all going to the 7th floor. Then Michelle is going to like the waiting area.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Blend in, keep my eyes open, that kind of thing.
And then I'd like to have Rafi with me. Because he's big and muscular.
Not really.
His presence just calms me down.
Not. I'm actually kind of frail unless I'm wielding the mace.
Well, bring that mace with you.
I will always bring the mace with me.
I imagine Ravi's got like a gym bag.
I got to figure out some way to carry that thing around. Probably like a gym bag, slung over the shoulder, like maybe just a messenger bag. Honestly, like just because the
Depending on
mace
how,
isn't like it's not this huge, you know.
yeah, I would say depending on how big it is, you could probably have it in like one of those tubes they carry around,
Oh, there you go.
wrapped up like, I don't know, blueprints or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Something an artist would carry around.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like a starving artist.
Yeah. No reason not to.
You're from India. Play true to that stereotype.
All right.
Yeah,
so
but I'll have it. I have it on me regardless.
yeah. All right. So Michelle is going to the waiting room. Ravi and Hux, it sounds like the two of you are headed to the room. Is that assumption correct?
Yep.
All right, great. Evie, what are you doing?
I'll hang out in the waiting room as well.
All right.
Anything larger than 2 people is going to seem weird going to this person's room. So I can keep. I can be a second set of eyes.
Sure. Let's see. Let's see.
I'll arrive and sit down like 5 minutes after Michelle does.
All right, great. So Ravi and Hux, you kind of go off down the hallway, looking for the room. Let's see. Michelle, you've grabbed a coat, a doctor's coat, because you are a novice, and we're going to make your life complicated. So I'm going to offer you a fate point that here in a moment, you're going to be mistaken for a doctor and have to help out. Would you like a fate point?
I would love a fate point.
All right. Let me give you, let's see, a fate point. I've added one to your stack. You now have 4 fate points. All right. So let's see. As Ravi and Hux are walking down the hallway, as you guys get the room that you're going for is at the far end of the building. So you guys kind of like come in on the east end. You guys have to get all the way over to the west end of the building. As you guys get about halfway there, the lights begin to flicker. And sort of like a miasma kind of comes from down the hallway. And there's like just this wave of like grief and apathy kind of like comes at you. So obviously like something is going on.
That's funky.
Yes.
That sucks.
Yeah. So this wave of miasma kind of like just permeates goes past you guys. We watch as it goes down the hallway and it like washes over. It smells like Teen Spirit. My God. It washes over the waiting room and the rest of the floor. A woman comes rushing into the waiting room and says that the heart rate monitor is stopped. I need your help, doctor. And kind of like grabs Michelle and drags Michelle off to one of the hospital rooms.
Oops.
Michelle, you were dragged into one of the nearby rooms where you see there's a woman in labor. She's doing the Lamaze breathing, and the heart rate monitor that's attached to her belly is coming back with 0 pulse. And like the little old lady who dragged you in is just freaking out. The husband's in there and freaking out. And basically you've got to deliver a baby.
Is the heart rate monitor like zeroed out and given a solid tone, or did it just turn off?
Solid tone. Like, I mean, you don't know much about this stuff, but like it's, they're basically saying like, we know that we have to get a cesarean section, and the pregnant woman's screaming, I accept, do it. Save my baby. So basically, we're going to come back to you, and you're saving the baby. Meanwhile, Ravi and Hux, what would you guys like to do?
Yeah, we are in a strange pit of despair in this hallway, right?
Correct.
I actually look pretty hesitant. If Ravi looks at Hux, he's going to see that Hux looks like kind of like he wants to bug out.
Yeah, I mean, so do I. But I'm going to keep moving forward. Obviously, I'm gonna grab the mace now because obviously like something's going down. So I'm like pulling the mace out, doing my full Night of the Lotus thing, which this might be like the first time Hux has really seen it up close.
Yeah, because I didn't see it earlier.
Yeah. So like, and I say like this is just a small stumbling block. We can't stop for this. There are much more worse things ahead, I'm sure.
I this just feels like a trap. I'm just saying, and this isn't like my forte. I mean,
this is probably a trap.
Well,
it's a trap.
Great. I'm awesome.
This is almost definitely a trap, obviously, but we have to push through it. There's people's lives in danger here.
All right, then. Yeah, let's go in there. Let's move on in. Wonderful. At that point, I'm going to reach into my pocket where I've got the pistol stored. I'm not pulling it out, but at this point, very obviously, my hand is in the pocket in that pose.
Yeah.
So I've got it on something.
Gotcha. All right. So you guys kind of cautiously are walking down the hallway to investigate what's going on. That's the impression that I get.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Evie, what do you do? Michelle has just been torn from the room as a doctor.
Oh man, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah. There's obviously something going on.
Yeah. Did I see the direction in which he got dragged?
Yeah. Yeah. You could find the room if you wanted to.
Okay. I kind of just want to, I shut the laptop, hold it in my hand, and very casually look at the room and see that he's attempting to deliver a baby.
Attempting to do a cesarean section on the baby.
Yeah. I'm going to go rush out back to the waiting room and say, slam my hands on the desk. There's a woman in room 718 who needs a cesarean section. There's no doctor. Somebody needs to go help her now.
As you slam your fist down and you say this, you notice that the nurses station, everyone is passed out unconscious. They had fell wherever they were when that miasma came through.
Shit.
Awesome.
Well, he's just going to have to deal with this. I'm going to go find the others now.
So, does Michelle notice the miasma permeating?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. And I've added a scene aspect miasma.
All right.
So.
Oh God.
Actually, no. I'm going to do something different
Okay.
rather than go find the others. I'm going to go back to the room. I have the laptop open, and I just look at Michelle. You're delivering this baby, and I guess I'm helping. I'm looking up how to perform a cesarean section.
All right, you go to WikiHow.
I think she knows a little bit better places to go.
Yeah,
than
I
WikiHow.
know better places to look.
She
WebMD.
watched the video on YouTube. It's basically the same thing.
I learned it on YouTube.
Oh my goodness. So Evie, it sounds like you are trying to create an advantage.
Yes.
So this is the advantage. I'm trying. Let's see. I think it sounds like the
I feel like
aspect you're trying
intellect.
to. Well, the aspect I think you're trying to create is I learned how on YouTube,
Well,
or I learned how to deliver a baby on YouTube.
probably more like careful research into C-sections.
Oh my goodness.
The birds and the bees.
C-sections.tv.
Yeah, definitely.
There you go.
And so the difficulty for learning how to accurately do a cesarean section from YouTube, I'm going to set the difficulty for that at a 4 because I think
It's
that's
definitely not YouTube. I have better access.
It's Vimeo.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like, you don't have a whole lot of time. Like,
Oh,
this
no, of
baby's
course
like
not. Of
flatlining.
course
So
not.
so it sounds to me like it actually sounds not like intellect but haste, because time is of the essence.
Okay, that's still a 2.
So I set the difficulty at 4 for that. So go ahead and make a roll to create this advantage.
And while she's doing that, I'm gonna look at the assembled nurses. Donnez-nous la chambre maintenant. And then Evie's Google Translate, give us the room right now! Exclamation point.
Well, there are no nurses in the room.
Oh, they all left?
There were no
They all
nurses to begin
passed
with.
out.
There was just the only ones who
Okay.
are awake is the mother and the husband and the pregnant woman, and it's because they've got so much adrenaline going that the miasma
Miasma's
didn't
not
impact
affecting
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
Oh.
Fun. That's no good.
So
I'm
you've
gonna
got some-
use.
now, if you want to, you can create the advantage C-section by instructional video and give me the free invoke.
No, that sounds like a terrible idea.
It sounds like a great idea.
No, that sounds like an absolutely awful idea.
All right, what do you want?
Instead, I'm going to mark off a box of knowledge and use my chasing rumors. Well, actually, I don't know. It's not supernatural threat, so I guess that wouldn't work.
Yeah, this isn't.
All right.
Actually,
well,
what you should be doing instead, I mean, obviously it's too late because you already rolled for it, but
looking up what the miasma is. Yeah. Well.
no, it's I would. Okay, I'll do this in character instead, as you're fumbling about on YouTube or on the internet, wherever you're looking.
Not YouTube. Instead, I'm going to use Never Stop Stinging as my aspect and spend a fate point to take that up to 3.
All right, that's success at a cost. Or well, actually, I'm sorry, this create advantage. So that is still a fail. Unless you spend another fate point on top of that.
Don't worry about it.
Right now, what I need you to do is to create a word around the room because I think this miasma is affecting the baby. We need to block out that awful foul magic which will bring life back to the child. I need you to do it quickly.
Are we done with the roll? You spent your fate point to get the.
I mean there's no
I'll give
other
you the-
scene aspects.
No,
There's
not
only
right now.
2. Well, there's only
only-
1.
Yeah. So do you want to spend another fate point to make that a success? Do you want?
I don't
to...
have any. I don't have anything else I can spend it on.
This is true. That is true. So you fail, and in this instance, I am going to actually create it as part of the failure, and I'm going to give that free invoke to me because I really want.
Surprise, surprise.
Yep, because I want to do that.
Do I still spend the fate point? Because it would have been a failure anyways.
Take the fate point back. I'm not going to make you spend it. All right. So that is your action. Let's see. We are almost at time, so I'm going to hold off on Ravi and Hux for just a moment longer because I'm going to do a big reveal and we'll have a cliffhanger. Michelle, what are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to get Evie to drop a ward around at least the woman and her child because I think that the reason why the baby's flatlined is because this magical influence of despair just caused the baby to give up. And if we can block out that magic, it would give the baby the will to fight and to actually be born, which would be a big plus. Big help.
This is true. So are you taking steps to help create a ward like that? Or
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that's
Step 1, create a ward. Step 2, deliver baby. Step 3, profit.
There you go. Let's see. So let's go ahead and we've got to look up rituals because it sounds like that is a ritual. Let's see. So what is a ritual spell? No. Let's see. This chief prerequisite is belief. And let's see. Let's look at Michelle. I don't think you've got any aspects that would be protective in this instance. Like you're the shinobi for the Earl King's interests. You're new in town, more sneaky than straightforward, extraordinarily ordinary, and a novice. Like the chief prerequisite is kind of belief. So you don't really have the intent there. Now, I can present you with complications to kind of overcome that. Is that true? Let's see. GM may impose complications if the character does not have the requisite relationship, or suggest that the player rethink the ritual to conform more closely with the ethos of the player character. So I like that you're doing it. So I'm going to offer you some complications.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see. You are going to actually have to acquire. I'm going to say you need assistance to do this. You're going to have to block or check one box of indebted to summon forth the power to do this ritual. You're going to be indebted to a power of. I'm going to let you determine like what power is going to be like providing you with this protection. It is not going to be the Earl King. He's a hunter. He's a predator.
Right.
So we can also say that check a box of indebted and talk about it between now and the next session.
Okay. That sounds
So
good.
if you mark a box of indebted, we can do that. And then I'm going to say that I don't want it to be too terribly complicated. I don't want it to just be an overcome. I'm looking at the example warding on page 177.
Well, the one in 177 is kind of a big version of what I'm trying to just do a small protection around the woman and her child. So I'm thinking it's just a fleeting condition on the room of protected from the miasma.
Okay, you know what? If checking a box of indebted, I think that and a simple overcome action, you'll be able to create a simple temporary ward around it. So yes. So go ahead. I'm going to set the difficulty for that overcome action at a 3.
Okay.
And it sounds. What approach are you using?
I would love to say guile, but I think haste is the most appropriate.
Sounds good. It goes along with the scene. Go ahead and roll haste against a difficulty of 3.
Overcome. All right. I'm just trying to use this here. Haste. Good difficulty. Oh,
It is an overcome. Do you want to succeed at a cost? Or do you want to spend a fate point?
I'm gonna go ahead and succeed at a cost.
All right.
I think.
Sure. So the let's see, the success at a cost. What is the cost going to be? The cost is going to be time. The ritual is going to take longer than you anticipated. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to be delayed getting to the next, like whatever's going on down the hallway. So that additional cost is going to be time.
Okay.
So actually, and the reason why is the ward that you create is actually going to create a bubble, but you are going to be trapped inside that bubble until that ward collapses. So that's why you've got a time delay.
Okay.
So
in my haste and not knowing what the hell I was doing, it's a two-way ward. Nothing can pass.
yes, and we will talk about who you're indebted to between now and the next session and flesh that out a little bit. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, so this magical energy pushes back this miasma, and so you're better able to handle the situation that's going on there. Let's see. We're going to. It's 10:30, so we're kind of at time. I'm going to switch over to Ravi and Hux, describe what's going on there, and I think we're going to end with a cliffhanger. Does that sound good to everybody?
Sounds good.
All right.
Cliffhangers
great.
are always good.
And Randy, don't forget to mark my box of indebted on the spreadsheet because I cannot do that.
Thank you for the reminder. I actually should let you guys have editing privileges to that, but I'm a jerk GM. All right.
Okay.
So, Ravi and Hux, let me see here. All right. So as you guys get closer to Vanna's room, the miasma gets thicker. And there is a flash of red light that burst forth from like the cracks in the door to the room. there is the pungent smell of like rotten eggs hits your nose. And you guys kind of like kick open the door. I imagine you guys are boldly going in, or are you guys like sneaking in?
I mean, I'm gonna boldly go in.
All right.
And
there
I
you go.
am there. I am over his shoulder, but it is clear Hux isn't the brave one.
Fair enough. Ravi, you swing the door open. You've got your mace in hand. You see in the room there is a pregnant woman. There is next to the bed. There is or like on the floor next to the bed. There's the unconscious and bleeding form of Hux will recognize as Charlene, and this creature is leaning over this pregnant woman and has like a bunch of like ritual effects like going on, and it looks like a ritual has just been completed. The creature kind of like turns and looks at you, and it's mostly human. There's this giant like proboscis that's coming out of its mouth that's covered with blood and ichor. And as it kind of like moves its arms, you see large like flaps of flesh underneath. And it kind of like moves its hands like, sort of like bat wings. And as it does so, it kind of like flaps, and from the waist up, the torso just kind of like flies into the air. The legs themselves charge directly at Ravi. And that is where we're going to end.
I think I can get out of the way. I'm confident.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Sounds like the strained vampire.
Wait, let me get this straight, Randy.
You're right.
Yes.
Because you said the upper torso flapped its wings and started flying, and the legs ran after Ravi.
Yes, it's
so
separated.
It's in two pieces.
Yeah, it's separated like the Enterprise and Next Generation.
In battle mode.
The saucer section landed on the bed, or is flying around in the air, and the legs, the battle mode legs, have gone straight for Ravi. So yeah, this is a strange creature that I found on Wikipedia and decided to turn it into a monster for you guys to fight.
Interesting.
I will tell you the name after the fight because I don't want you looking it up.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's kind of unique. I think we might be able to find it.
yeah. I mean, if you want to look
I'm
it
not
up, that's
going to look
cool,
for
but-
it on principle.
I'm just
Yeah.
going to wait until next week when he does his GM speak about last episode, and then he'll tell us all about it.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm horrible. All right, so we're at the end of the session. I'd like to do our usual like roses or thorns or both, whatever you'd like to do. Something that you enjoyed about tonight or didn't enjoy about tonight. So we're going to go around. We're going to start with John. So, does anybody have anything good or bad that they'd like to say about tonight's session?
I mean,
I liked it. I thought this went pretty well.
Cliffhangers are good.
I not to be that guy, I can't really think of a bad thing that happened. Other than we totally blew the name, but we fixed that pretty quickly. But,
Yeah, but that was nothing on you, Randy. That was totally us.
oh yeah.
Yeah. One thing I want to say that was good is that we had no sound issues tonight.
Yeah.
yeah.
I liked our gourmet Dunkin' Donuts trip.
Yeah,
was a
that
highlight.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like how I'm going to be Michelle's boss someday.
You bastard.
I have plans for this, by the way. I have plans for this.
But only for one scene.
I got plans.
The best. It'll be the best scene ever.
I make prank calls. Hello, President Trump. This is the Earl King. Is your refrigerator running? Then I'll hang up while Michelle's watching and be like, that was a good burn. Good burn. Watch all hope die in Michelle's eyes.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness. So anything else anybody wants to say, good or bad?
It was good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I had a good time. I don't, it was very different from last session, but it was good.
Yeah, last session was basically I put you guys on tracks. And now I'm kind of now it's coming off the rails. Because you guys have I'm learning your characters, I'm learning what's important to your characters, and I'm trying to feed into it a little bit more. So trying to use your aspects, feeding them into the story a little bit, trying to tie a lot of things together. So yeah. So tonight's session is probably what most sessions are going to feel like. So
All I have to say is that Ravi is one who studied medicine. He should be in here delivering the kid.
I know.
I mean, only
That's
for a
weird.
little bit. I just studied it, and
He's like Worf, if you think about it.
The only thing I know how to do is hopefully not kill the mother when
I
slicing her
mean,
open.
his parents wanted him to be a doctor, but that doesn't qualify him to deliver a baby.
No, it's
Yeah.
easy. Just, let nature take its course.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping is going to happen with when the ward goes up, is that everything will be okay, because honestly, there's no way that he'd be able to perform a C-section.
this is true.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead, John.
No, I was just joking. Sorry. I'm sorry about interrupting.
Oh, that's okay. Just to be clear, that ward that went up, that Michelle is kind of trapped in, Evie is not trapped in. So Evie can come and go. The others can come and go. Michelle is trapped. That's part of the complication for
I'm the anchor.
part of the cost. Yeah, precisely. So, all right. Well, with that, it's been a good night. It's been a good game. I will see you guys in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Yay! I'm going to go ahead and
Yep.
stop the streaming. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one, y'all. And remember,